Well, first of all, I want to say thank you and welcome. Beautiful day. Got a chance to step on the grass. The weather's been. It started out extremely hot last week. The football guys have given us an opportunity to get on the grass and enjoy what the last couple of days have brought. Weather's in the mid 80s, probably high 70s when we're practicing. And that's been good for our athletes. Really, for us, we're a morning team. We like to get it in the morning. I think it's been good to see these players, 62 new players, grow into like this culture a little bit. You know, we opened the Stephen and Denise Smith Athletic Performance Center last week, and it's been amazing since the day we stepped in. Our student athletes have a home. We feel good about the culture that's being poured into inside this building. If you ask our student athletes, they actually truly feel like they're home. So that's good for us. Excited. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to you guys for questions.
Hey, Coach, I know you weren't here when Nick was a really young kid being thrown into the fire, but now as a fifth-year mature guy, you're seeing what he can provide on the field. Talk about just his maturity level right now.
Yeah, his maturity level is it's really, for me, that of having a wily 10-year vet. I do believe, and I've seen this before. I saw it with Kyle Shermer, like when I had Kyle, saw him as a young pup, but then how he matured. This guy is the quintessential leader. He understands where he is in his career. He wanted to stay a Blue Raider, and that meant a lot to this program. I think it means a lot to the fan base of Middle Tennessee, because in this day and age, everybody talks about the money piece of it. He was more about the legacy piece of it. Rarely do you get a chance to open a facility for the first time. You know, there's not a lot of things in life you get a chance to do for the first time, and him and Parker Hughes have really infused their experiences, their journeys with this team, this culture. And when you get a chance to go through the building, what you do see is legacy. He's part of that legacy, and I'm thankful to have a veteran quarterback back who's been to a couple of Manning academies. Man, he's got some prowess, he's got some chops, and he's well seasoned both on and off the field.
Coach Novomatic, several times Gazette. Kind of pivoting off that a little bit, Nick coming back, but saw some great catches out there in the final, 15 minutes of practice especially. Why is this group, skill position, wide receiver, and then coming off the guy throwing the ball, been able to mesh well and get ready for this season?
Well, we had some stars a year ago, Mari Kelly, Holden Willis. I just saw Holden on Saturday, but he was back here. Got a chance to see himself up in the tight end room, which is exciting. Those guys were dynamic, but we're more dynamic. We really are. We have more depth, more speed. We're longer, and we knew we had to give Nick weapons, right? Tight end room, receiver room. We revamped that running back room. But these guys are long. You can talk about Casey Stokes. You can talk about Najee Cox. You can talk about Miles being like the lone returner, but A.J. Johnson from Arizona, Marion Walker from Michigan. We went out and got dudes. And so, that room, whether we're talking about the portal or even the high school talent, it's unbelievable. And Nick's just had fun all summer throwing to a cast of characters, man. It doesn't matter who's out there, somebody makes plays, right? So that for a quarterback has to be something that you say, okay, this is a great start to where we want to be.
When you start the journey of bringing 62 players together, at this point, what are you looking for? What are the keys to building that camaraderie?
Well, we started in June and July. We sort of borrowed from Polynesian culture a little bit. We've had some folks come in, and we've tried to find our mana, right? We've tried to find this place where it's less about being a teammate and more about the brotherhood. What does that look like? A teammate wears a jersey and puts on a jersey. The brotherhood, never lets you down and it doesn't fail you. Okay, we're learning how to protect each other in this culture, ruthlessly, and I think that's probably the right word to use, ruthlessly. We have to protect one another, and they've done that. It's hard when you get new people, right? But think about it: a class of 30 freshmen, that's generally where it's been. The new guys are really those older guys infused, like those 32 players that we infused with the 49 that came back. those were key pieces, critical parts of where we are. Some portal, some junior college. And we believe that we did it right because we recruited character and talent. You got to start somewhere, right? Everybody wants to start with talent, but you got to have people that want to be Blue Raiders. You got to have people that understand what it is, like in this state, in the South, to step into this place and look at the legacy. When they walked into the building, they saw the names up. They saw the Benny Cunninghams. They saw the Kevin Byards, like of the world, and they know now what those stories are. Like before, we just talked about people. Now the stories are on the walls as you go through this building, and I think that's important because they're learning how to leave this place better than the way they found it. That's part of the legacy of being a Blue Raider.
How important is a fast start for you guys in trying to establish some confidence in this football team after last year?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's super important in the space that everybody wants to start fast, but I think the way we've approached it is this, right? Let's stop worried about the reps. Let's worry about the quality of the reps. See, man, when you start with quality of reps, and then you like where you go from there is the consistency by which you're able to get to that. That breeds confidence, right? And so we talk about winning days, but when you can consistently come out, play the way you want to, and the quality of work looks the way you want it to look, it's never losses. It's always lessons. Okay, there's lessons from the day that we can go into the room. Okay, man, we talk about the lab. We can get into the lab. Okay, we can, work out the equation, fix it, and then get back on the grass and make it right. And I think that's where this group is. Less concerned about, okay, how many reps am I getting, but, what are the quality of the reps? Because the quality of the play has got to lead us to where we're trying to go.
Coach, do you see any overlap in the sense of the athletic performance center being obviously a big step for athletics as a whole here and the opportunity for your program to take a big step for you too?
I think it was all in the vision, right? I mean, like they had a vision way before I came here. I mean, I just happened to be the person, tasked with the helm of being able to get us like from where we are to where we want to go. So like the vision was brought into to fruition like a while ago. Like anything else, sometimes it takes time. We all wanted it to hop a little faster, but you plant the seeds, and you water it, then you let the sunlight hit it, and you watch it grow. And I think in year 2, we're going to see not only a much more cohesive football team, but we're going to see a unit that's capable of doing, I think, extremely good things. But again, we haven't played any games. We're just looking at this idea of getting ready for Austin Peay, and then we'll take that on, and then we'll go to Wisconsin and see exactly what we got.
You're a physical-minded guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2 days in the pad.
Yeah.
What have you seen from your team as the physicality really starts to come?
Yeah, it's been, I wish those days were about pads because those guys have been click-clacking. I mean, it's been pretty physical, up front, and that's the way we wanted it to be. The investment in the offensive line, that's for not only our team but for Nick Vattiato. Okay, I mean, we have to be able to protect our quarterback, but we also got to be able to physically run the football. And I've seen like true signs of that. But I think when you're good up front offensively or working towards that, you get the most out of your defensive line because you create physicality like on both fronts. And that's what I've seen from this team so far. Yesterday was a dominant defensive performance, and I saw offense come back today and give us a chance. So the ebb and flow is what you want. It's not, this distinct advantage on one side or the other. I'm just seeing guys get better. You see guys like Habanowski and Otts at the tackles, and those guys are giving, Brandon and Bynum everything that they can handle right now. So that's where it's at. I think iron is sharpening iron, and it continues to show itself with this idea that we're an older, a little more mature football team.
You took the top off offensively today. I know that was the emphasis.
Yeah,
of the game plan
it was.
Practice, but to
Right.
see Gamarian do it, I think it was 3 times.
Yeah.
How good have you been? And
Yeah.
can this offense be more explosive, do you think, this year?
It's explosive because of the playmakers outside. I mean, I don't care who we put out there. They got a chance to get big on you, right? And Cam Lacey, who's probably one of the fastest on the team, he ran 23 miles an hour. So that's moving. We can run by you. We can take it off your head. We can go alley-oop at the rim. Like, what do you want to do? You want to play, fast break football? We can do that. We also want to be able to control the clock as well. But today, when you saw those guys outside go make plays, that's been an all summer, all camp affair. And the good thing is it's coming from everywhere. It's not coming from just an Amari or just a Holden. It's coming from any guyman who steps on the field who feels like he's got a one-on-one matchup. Our quarterbacks can put it there. So I'm glad to see the maturation of not just Nick, but really what's behind Nick. Stanley, like right now, and Roman are playing, extremely well, for young guys. So what we got to do is just keep putting in work.
A little bit of a sidebar question.
Yeah.
I read something about you guys reducing the number of uniforms
Mhm.
in order to have more money for NIL.
Yeah.
Can you confirm if that's true and what the mindset was in doing that?
We didn't reduce it for NIL. I mean, we're just not Oregon. We're Middle Tennessee. Like, we don't need 5 uniforms, right? I mean, a black helmet or this helmet. Nowadays, where we've gone at MTSU, it's more about the things that matter. Okay, our helmets are all digitally mapped, and our shoulder pads are all digitally mapped. Okay, well, that costs, right? We put our student athletes in the best possible gear that they can wear, for safety standards, and that's a different place than where we were a year ago. So we made the choice to look at the smart dollar, okay, and we only have 2 helmets. We've got a practice helmet and a game helmet. They're both gray, okay. We're going back to old MTSU, and it's just traditional. So we'll have traditional uniforms that have a new touch of flavor and flair for this generation. But when you see us on the field, you'll recognize MTSU and the Blue Raiders because it's back. It's going back to legacy a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Derek, short time in the building already, but
Yeah.
when you seeing the surroundings here, obviously bells and whistles aren't going to win games.
No.
But how much of an advantage does MTSU have now that may have been a disadvantage in the past when it comes to facilities?
Well, we didn't have a facility to bring our kids into. We didn't take them into the weight room. Okay, you have to understand where they've been here the last couple of years. Everything that we did recruiting-wise, I tell you what, they never saw our offices. The only place that they saw was Hendricks. Like, that's it, like the skybox, because we didn't have any other place to show them. So when you can walk through one of the best weight rooms in G5, you see development. Okay, when you can go down to our nutrition station and at any time of day, we've got everything from shakes to like whatever you need, like to fuel yourself. It matters when you walk into our athletic training room and you can see the HydroWorks tubs as well as the underwater treadmill and all the space and all the amenities afforded to our student athletes. When you walk into the players' lounge, from red light therapy, okay, to Normatex. This place, if they had built this place 3 years ago, it would have lacked all that stuff, right? It would have had a couple of bells and whistles, but when you have time, okay, and you can, I guess, strategically get everybody on the same page about what we need and what's happening today in college football, it matters, and development matters. That's what they care about. They care about nutrition. They care about recovery. They care about, how do you get me better? And when you walk through this facility, it's as good as anybody's. I mean, I was just at Boise State like 2 weeks ago, seeing my brother-in-law and some coaches that worked for me in years past. And what I can tell you is we got the goods now. So we can recruit. We can go at anybody. The thing that we got to do is win. Winning and facilities matter in this day and age, for sure.
Last thing I want to ask you is, you said over 60 new players this year. You
Yeah.
had 50 last year.
Yeah.
Is that part of building the program, or is that just college football today?
I think it's both, and I think that's a really good question, right? It's truly both. You're going to have some attrition, right? I mean, we had 3 players get offered a lot of money to go other places. Okay, but we put more in the portal than jumped in the portal by far, and I think this much, right? As you continue to manifest your culture a little bit, and you understand what your recruiting philosophy is. We want to stay in the mid-state area as much as we can. We want to stay in a 350-mile radius so our student athletes and their parents can come watch them play, okay? And people who are watching them know who these student athletes are. That those things matter. So I think as we've built it out, we understand that we were going to have attrition for the first couple of years. It's interesting. I went to Boise State and looked at their roster. I think they've got 19 or 21 starters coming back on that team. They only lost one guy to the portal, and every guy on their roster, okay, grew up in the Boise program. They were all high school players that transition, and that was a team that was in the college football playoff. So there is something about continuing to grow your program organically in the group of five, and we got to continue to do that. But I think more importantly, you got to get the right people in the building, and I think that's been a process. So every year you're going to have a little bit of attrition, but you got to make sure you get the right guys. And if you do that, you can build it out the right way.
With the new SAPC now in place,
Yeah.
how have you seen that affect the energy of the team and the staff as well?
Look, we all smiling ear to ear. I mean, I can walk by meeting rooms. If you walk by meeting rooms now, you probably see players, showering and getting up to their meeting rooms because they want to watch the film before coaches get to the film, right? Because when you get into the film room and you want to have answers, to what's going on. We never had that. We never had the ability for these guys to commune like that. It's cool at around 1:30 to be able to go past the players' lounge, okay, and see these dudes in there playing cards, these guys in there playing foosball, they're playing pool. It's a good space. That's what locker rooms are, man. It's about camaraderie and getting to know one another. We haven't had a chance to do that before, so I think these guys are maximizing the opportunity, to be together and grow, as a team. The brotherhood continues to get better every day.
Coach, two-parter, two questions. First up, redshirt freshman broke it down today. Sawyer Lover. Is there anything particular about that? And then also, Rocky Chandler working his way back from his torn ACL season ago. How's he looking health-wise?
Yeah, I think this, right? Everybody is valued and valuable in our program, right? I don't care if you're a scholarship player, you're a walk-on. Nobody gets treated differently in our program. We don't have initiations. Football is an initiation, right? With Sawyer, it's just a matter of that dude came here and provided value, from day one. He's worked his way up, and his teammates value who he is. I value who he is. And so I do something called brag on your brother, right? You pull it from everywhere, but this is a tool by which, man, I ask an athlete, to say something good about, his teammate, right? And there's been several guys comment on Sawyer. He happened to be in front of me, so today, man, he got a chance to break it down. That's all there was to it. It wasn't that magical. It's just at the end of the day, I think, man, just showing these guys a little bit of love, it matters, right? They matter. They hear their name, guys hear them being recognized. It all matters.
You talk about filling Floyd all the time.
Yeah.
What's different this year for this team and this program that should get fans off their couches and into the stands?
Yeah, I understand that we're up against the entertainment dollar. That's what's happening nowadays, right? You see 85-inch TV, man, you got your refrigerator 15 feet away, you got your chili on the stove. I get it all. But I tell you what you can't get. You can't get the feel of what's happening. What they've done with the renovations in this stadium, man, they're going to be spectacular. Pre-game concert, the ribbon board, the in-game experience, what we do at halftime, it's just changed. I think this university has finally, figured out and understood where we got to go in terms of entertainment value. I can remember, when I first got here, the Predators were just rising, and really what it came down to was a lot of people didn't like hockey, but they liked the entertainment value of going to a hockey game. Now, man, it's become a hockey town, and I think everything has to do with the entertainment value. In-game, pre-game, post-game, and you got to make it matter. And if you want Blue Raider fans to come, you better understand what they like. And so that's a place where we think we've upgraded our experience.
Yeah. We want to try to make the defense cover from the line of scrimmage to the goal line, from sideline to sideline. And for us to do that, we've got to hit deep balls. Not only throw them, but hit them. And it's a little bit like a feel-good thing. You hit one, and then, the momentum starts going, the feel-good starts going, and then you pop a run, right? And then your protection gets better. So it feels good to hit the ball down the field, but it does a lot more than just score that touchdown. It helps, everything else. Helps the run game, helps the spacing of the field, helps the protection. So it's going to be big for us in using the guys that we have on the outside and forcing people to cover us down the field.
Coach talked about the playmakers you brought in on the outside
Mm-hmm.
of the Power 5 schools. Was that an area where you said we need to do this to catch up to the top in Conference USA?
Yeah, I think when you add playmakers on the outside, number one, it gives the quarterback a sense of comfortability and like secureness that if we get cover one or if I have pressure, I can get the ball out of my hand and I can get it to a guy that's going to get open, right? The another consequence that I thought about is it helps your protection because the ball can come out faster, right? And if they're worried about playing man, right, they got to play zone. Now they start, you can rush less people and it puts less stress on the offensive line. So having people that can get open helps the quarterback a lot, but it'll help the offensive line as well. So it was an important addition to our team.
Coach, you inherited an already veteran quarterback in Vadiato.
Yeah.
What have you seen different this year or any maturity level, what he's done on the field from last year?
We asked Nick to kind of progress and grow in his leadership. I thought he did a really good job this summer. We planned a series of, everyone across the country does it. It's what those guys do in the summer, and it's a 7-on-7 here. It's a team period, and they're running it. Well, in the month of July, we left him alone. It's your job to get it organized. It's your job to make the adjustments that you want to see, right? Maybe it's throwing another out route. Maybe it's running another zone, and he did it. And I think it allowed him to have ownership of what's going to happen in the fall, and he's become more vocal. That was the next step for Nick. He's done a good job of being tough. He's done a great job of being productive. He's done a great job of leading by example. But now we want to hear it, right? He's got to take the locker room over.
When you look back 5-10 years, what do you hope you, the fans, the players say about this side of the ball?
We were loyal and we were explosive. That's what we want to hang our hat on this year. We want to be loyal to our teammates. We want how we play on the field to represent my dedication to my guys playing next to me and to the defense that we're going to play with, right? The next thing is we want to be explosive. We want at any time, any place, anywhere we can score the football.
Do you have a per-game average, like point-wise, you want to get to say if we can average?
One more than them. One more than them. Yeah, but I'll say this. If we can get to 35, that'd be great. That's a lot. Shoot for the stars land on the moon. But that's 5 touchdowns a day. And if you don't throw, you don't go, you don't know. And we're going to give it a shot.
Coach, talking about Nick being a veteran vocal leader, saw during the team portion today, Brett Brown drops back, throws a deep ball. I think it was Gamarion Carter in the corner of the end zone. Nick rushes off the sideline to celebrate with his guy. What does it mean to you, really to the offense as a whole, to see a veteran be that supportive of the rest of his teammates, even in just a drill?
Inside the position group, the quarterbacks have to learn to play through one set of eyes. It's a great position in American sports. You're going to play one guy. Most of those guys were the best player on their high school team. That's why they're Division I quarterback, right? But they have to learn to play the game through the eyes that's on the field because that's the rep they got, right? They didn't get the physical one. They have to get the mental one. And if you encourage the guy that's in front of you, right, that's only going to make him better, which in turn is only going to make you better. So we break it every day as a quarterback in brothers. That's how we got to play. Nick's going to be our starting quarterback. He's proven he's earned that opportunity to be a starter. We got to find a guy that's going to go push Nick now. And what's encouraging about Nick is he's pushing those guys to push him, right? And then you see the excitement, and you see him encouraging others. Well, that's showing that second-string offensive lineman, or that second-string running back, that second-string tight end. Well, I can't have my dauber down. I got to go encourage my teammate, right? So that's the vocal leadership and leading by example. That's encouraging to see.
Anything else, Coach?
One thing for you, Coach. Offensive line was obviously at times a weakness
Mhm.
last year. How have you seen it, at least this point in fall camp, develop and just through about a week of fall camp?
Well, I think them having continuing with Coach Simmons is good, right? Another off season, going into the same system again, allowing those guys to progress, and then you add in the new players, right, and create the internal competition. Because what you need in the offensive line, you don't need 5, you need 8. Because time has told me that the 5 that we run out against Austin Peay aren't going to be the 5 that finish the conference season play. So their goal, as we put camp objectives on each position group, is the offensive line needs to own the line of scrimmage, and they got to play as one heartbeat because they have to be interchangeable pieces. Now, what I'm encouraged to see is that we have a little bit of depth, and they're pushing each other, right? Now, that depth is going to get thinner throughout the course of time. So whoever's in's got to be able to play inside that heartbeat. And we're excited about Jacob Otts at our left tackle. I think that's a big addition to our team. We're excited about E.J. Harris and what he brings. But now it's just getting the best 5 out there, right? And then continuing to encourage them push each other.
And if you had to, if you can't, that's okay. If you had to name the best five right now, could you do it?
No.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Coordinator Brian Stewart, he's ready for your questions.
Good morning. That's a rough crowd.
2 days into pads, how do you like the physicality and maybe more importantly the execution you've seen from your side?
All that. I'm enjoying the way we're playing football. We wanted to be aggressive and physical, and we wanted to start camp aggressive and physical. Now, it's hard to start camp aggressive and physical because when we first start, we just have helmets on. So now we've got a chance to teach hand placement, foot placement. We did those things well, and then today it was a real good day, real physical day. Up and down, offense, defense, but it was a good physical day. So I like where we're at.
Turnovers are always important in football. Last year you guys probably didn't do a good enough job in that category. What do you have to do to get your hands on more balls and take it away more?
You know, everybody talks about turnovers. They only speak on interceptions. We need all of it. We need interceptions. We need strip fumbles. We need fumble recoveries. We need all that. And we've been practicing that. As a matter of fact, we have a thing where we call take three. So we try to take three every day at practice. If you ever watch practice and you see those guys say, that's one, they're saying that's one because we got one. And then we take three. We take three, then I give them some candy bars or something when we're in our meeting rooms because we can celebrate taking three. So we really emphasize that. We have takeaway circuits, interception. Instead of just going for a sack, go for the strip instead of just a sack. Because if you get the sack, you got the quarterback down. They got another down, right? If you get the strip, you got the ball on the ground. We got a chance to get the ball there, and we got a chance to win the game because we can turn the ball over and get it to our offense.
Coach, can you talk about the progress of your linebacker core? Pretty veteran group, and particularly Alex Mitchell coming in from Chattanooga.
Well, you say progress. It's been 5 practices, right? So I think they're doing a good job meshing with each other. I think Parker does a good job because he knows our defense. He played in it last year. So he does a good job. And Alex just kind of came in and did a good job picking up because Mike Backer is a big responsibility. When you're the Mike Backer, you have to set the front. You have to get everybody. If it's a reload, you have to reset the front, and he's done a good job. But I think both those two dudes together have done an excellent job. And then now what we want Corey Smith to come along as well as Jade Thompson to come along too.
Some new guys on defense. Who's a player or a couple players that fans might not know right now but should be on the lookout for?
New players on defense. I think Jawan Gatson playing safety number 22 is going to do a good job for us. I think we got Kalen Woods, the other safety number 18, is somebody to watch out for. I think Corey Smith, who didn't play a lot, who's going to have some more playing time at linebacker, is going to do some things. And then on the D line, I think you're always looking at Anthony Bynum. He's young, and I think he's really coming into his own right now. Yes, sir.
Coach, you guys are still a 3-4 base. Is that right?
That's an accurate statement.
And so last year, especially down the road, you guys kind of got knocked out of that some. Do you feel that the personnel, the guys that you have on roster, are better suited to play in that system this year than maybe this time a year ago?
Well, first of all, the D linemen are the same guys, right? So they're a little older. We came in, no excuses, right? We came in and our whole starting D line was gone. So if you evaluated us on tape, you thought you had Marley, you thought you had some of these other guys, and by the time we got here, they weren't on campus. So we played some of the younger guys, and they had to learn to play. And they had to learn to play against a good Tennessee Tech team that we didn't know was good, a good Ole Miss team, a good Duke, and a good Memphis team. So that's a good way to test your mental right there. So with that getting banged around, we got a chance to learn. We got to learn from the best. So I'm pretty excited at where we are now because I thought those guys understand what we want, understand how to play blocks, and they're going to do a good job, and they've been doing a good job in camp.
Coach talked about how yesterday was a good day for defense. Today the offense kind of answered back. You've got some explosiveness on the offense. How important is that for developing your defense to have that competition each day?
If you played defense and they never scored a touchdown, as a defensive coordinator, I'd be worried because when am I getting the ball back to, right? So I love that. I always tell our guys, just get back to center. No matter what happens, get back to center. When I say that, I mean, so you knock the ball down, so you got an interception, so you got a forced fumble, you got a sack. Okay, we're still playing football. Get back to center so we can play, and you can play with the same energy every play. So if they get a deep pass for a touchdown, if they get a big run play, get back to center so we can play some football.
You've been a lot of different places in your career. Where does this facility stack up? How much have you enjoyed this so far?
I love this facility. This facility is better than every NFL facility I went to. I was most recently I left Detroit 2019. This is better than Detroit's. I mean, we don't have an indoor yet, but this is better than Detroit. This is a very good football facility. And as far as, I can't compare it to Group of 5 because I was at a Power 5, a Power 4 now. But this is way up there. This is a great facility. It operates so that the coaches can teach fast, and it's good for the athletes because it's one-stop shopping, so they can stay in here, they can watch film, they can go down lift weights, they can go to the training room, they can do their physical therapy, and all in one roof. It's awesome.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, A. Go Blue Raiders.
All right, guys, linebacker Parker Hughes, ready for your questions?
Parker, how was it putting the pads on the last 2 days?
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, anytime you get a chance to put pads on at linebacker, it's always fun.
As a player, what's it like to walk into this facility after what it's been for years?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been here for quite a while, and just to see this thing come up finally, I mean, it's great, and we appreciate all the people that's chipped into this.
How rewarding is that loyalty for you?
Oh, man, it's rewarding. I mean, just go in there and see that sweet locker. I mean, everything's nice. You come to a clean bathroom, clean showers. I mean, you just can't beat that.
Where do you see the improvements on this defense so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the D-line is just experienced. I mean, I think they're going to hold their own this year. I mean, linebackers, you add in Alex Mitchell with me. You got Muaz Bayard that's going to come in, and Corey Smith. And the back end's gotten better. I mean, coaches filled those spots that we needed. So I think as a whole, just everybody's come together. The chemistry aspect of it has gotten a lot better. So, yeah, we're just going to keep fighting, keep going.
You guys have a chip on your shoulder based off of how last year happened and what the expectation around here is?
Absolutely. I mean, last year obviously wasn't what we wanted, but this year's going to be different.
How does this new facility kind of correlate maybe with a step you guys are trying to take just in terms of progressing, especially now second year with Coach Mason?
Yeah, I mean, I told Coach Mason, like, before we was in the spring in the old facility, when this thing got up, I was like, we're going to be better as soon as it gets built. I mean, as soon as we step into this, because it's going to motivate guys. You're going to see the new stuff. You're going to want to play harder for that, just because, like, you see the community tapping into the building this building. So, like, that just brings energy to us, and we want to do better for the community and stuff. So just the building's just going to make us better just like that off rip.
What is 1 or 2 games on the schedule right now that you can see that are going to be big games for y'all?
WKU, of course. I mean, that's our rival. I mean, we got to beat them. Haven't beaten them since I've been here, so we got to change that. But if we could just take the first 3, the first 4, we can steal those games, the non-conference games. It's just going to help us throughout the conference. I mean, we're just going to have confidence. I mean, you want to win the first one. We're going to take it day by day, of course, but first one's huge. But Austin Peay, we come in here, they come to our place. We got to take them down. So.
Do you need that proof of performance after last year? I mean, to have that quick start and to get that confidence that you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can come off quick and hot, I mean, that's what you want to do. So, yeah, the confidence aspect is huge, and we need that first one.
Anything else for Parker? All right, thanks, Parker.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, guys, quarterback Nick Vadiato.
Morning.
Nick, why does it feel different this year?
I think just the pure energy in the locker room. I think that not even like before even getting in this building, I think the energy in the locker room has been really good. I think throughout the spring, throughout the summer, we've had a really good mindset. I think Coach Mason has done a good job of like he set the standard, but he's kind of like not been I guess, up everyone's butts in a way. Like, he's kind of let the players, like, go and do their own thing. And, like, we've done a good job policing ourselves and, like, finding who we are. And I think that's the important thing is, like, we've found who we are as a team, and we didn't need the coaches to do that. I think that each player has done a really good job of, like, connecting with one another. And I think we have a good feeling, like, when we step on that field, like, we know what to expect out of each other, and it's been really good for us.
They made a pretty big investment in the offensive line and trying to improve the running game.
Yep.
How much could an improved running game help you as the quarterback?
I think that's a good run game is always going to open up a pass game, and I think that's something that we talk about, with like as quarterbacks, but also as an offense in general. It's like when you can run the ball and the defense can't do anything about it, like that puts a lot of stress on a defense coordinator, on a defense as a whole. And then, when you have to start putting extra guys into the box because you can't defend the run game, then that opens up the outside. It creates one-on-ones. It creates your playmakers on the outside, which we have a lot of them, to go out there and to do what they do best. And it creates one-on-one situations, because if a defense is going to be able to sit and drop 8 and cloud all game, it's going to be hard to throw the ball. But you got to take advantage of the run game. And like you said, we have an offensive line that's going to allow us to do that. We have talented running backs. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for those guys.
Your OC says he'd like to see this team put up 5 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
Like how high that bar is set for you guys right now with what you got on the field?
Yeah, I love it. I think setting a goal like that is always good. You could kind of quantify it in a way. That's kind of been our goal the first couple of days of practice. Like situationally, we started in the red zone. Like that was his challenge for us, is like score 5 touchdowns a day. And I think we scored 13 touchdowns through 3 practices, which it's okay. There was definitely a lot of missed opportunities, and I think that we can grow from it and be better. And but I think it's good. Set goals and to kind of see where you're at and get a gauge, because we have a talented offensive skill set, whether it's the receivers, the tight ends, the backs. The O-line's done a great job up front. So I think, Coach Reeder does a good job and finds ways to motivate us like that.
He's also let you go downtown with football.
Yeah.
Quarterback, that's got to be fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we have guys who are going to go get the ball, who create a lot of separation, who can run past DBs, make plays in the air, be physical at the point of attack, which I think is something that's going to help us a lot. So, those guys on the outside do a phenomenal job of going and locating that ball and making plays.
Coach Mason said for you coming back, it was about legacy over money. How would you describe your approach in that?
Yeah, I would say, like, with the landscape of college football right now, it's probably rare that any player, quarterback, or whatever position they're playing is at the same school for 5 years. I think at the end of the day, like, going to a bigger school maybe for a larger dollar sign, like, wasn't what was important to me. This school and the coaching staff, and whether it was the coaching staff before or Coach Mason's coaching staff now, like, they've given me a lot of opportunities here, and this athletic department has given me a lot of opportunities, and I'm forever grateful for those. And so I think that wanting to be a Blue Raider is what was important to me, and I feel like we have the team and the coaching staff that we can win, and so, like, that's what makes me excited, and that's the reason I want to be here.
When it comes to this building, how does that maybe work in lockstep with how you guys are trying to elevate as a football program?
Yeah, I think, like, this building has obviously been years in the making, and all the donors that were able to make this building possible, like, I'm grateful to. And like, it is a step in the right direction. Having a building like this, it can help in a lot of it just helps your day to day. Like, when you're trying to, especially during fall camp, when you have a lot going on, you have practices, you have meetings, you got lifts, guys need to get treatment. It helps your day to day. It helps in recruiting, and it kind of like I forget who was saying it. One of our coaches was saying it the other. Mr. Massaro was saying it the other day. Like, when opposing teams have to come in and they get to see this building, it's like man, like, this place is nice. Like, they do right by their players. We have a good program, and I think that's what Coach Mason's trying to instill in us.
Nick, sitting in Bowling Green 5 years ago, as you got thrown into the fire, I don't know, were you 17 or 18 years old at that point?
I think it was 18. Might have been 19. September birthday.
You were young.
I was young. I was younger than I am now.
Can you describe just how much Nick Vadiato has changed, not only as a player on the field, but as a person in that time, and just kind of looking back on that start to your career?
Yeah, that first start versus Western way back in 21, in a weird way, like, it feels like yesterday, but also feels like a lifetime ago. It's crazy to think that I'm going on my 5th year now, but I'm grateful for every experience I've had, for every touchdown, for every interception. Maybe not the interceptions as much, but, like, you got to learn from them. I'm grateful for all of it, all the teammates I've gotten to play with, guys who I think about guys like Reed and Jordan Ferguson and Chase Cunningham who gave me a lot, as a young player, that I've kind of tried to take different things from them and be a better leader, and I could kind of give it back to the young guys now. It's weird, like guys like Roman and Stanley who are coming in as young quarterbacks, like that was me like 4 years ago. So I try to do my best and make sure that I'm doing the best I can for them so they can better themselves each day. And yeah, it's been a fun ride for sure. It's not over yet, but forever grateful for all the opportunities and experiences I've had here, and I'm excited I get to do it here for my last year here.
Speaking on your last year, what are you hoping to go out on for your last year as a Blue Raider?
I just want to win at the end of the day. I think that's what everyone in this locker room wants to do, is win. I think that's the special part about this team, is that there's not a lot of personal egos or personal agendas. And I think when you have a team that's not just personal egos and personal accolades, and I'm trying to set personal goals. Like I haven't heard one guy talk about a personal goal, and I think that is rare. Like you hear guys talk about, I want to be first team this, first team that, lead the conference in rushing or catching and yada yada. But all I hear in the locker room is guys want to win, and I think when, like I said, we have everyone on the same page. There's a lot of good energy in that room, and when we go out on the field during fall camp, like we're competing, and I think, to be able to go in each day, if we could win each day and then we stack days with consistency, that'll be really good for us.
Being the veteran guy now in the locker room, what would you tell freshman year Nick on campus?
I would tell him to enjoy it, honestly. Like, it goes by really fast. Parker was just standing up here. Parker and I were roommates freshman year together, and to think that we're now both going into our 5th year here together is it's really cool, but it does go by pretty fast. So I would tell him just to enjoy it, take it all in. Don't rush to get out of the building. Like, just spend time with your guys, because you're not going to be around these guys for forever. So just sit there and enjoy it.
Nick saw you several times, whether it was on the field while one of the backups was in, or in the room over here while Parker was wrapping up your guys. How have you grown as a vocal leader, you think, maybe from last year and just over the 5 years that you've been here?
Yeah. I've definitely grown a lot. I think, like I said, when I was younger, being around guys like Reed Blankenship and Jordan Ferguson and Chase Cunningham and DQ Thomas, guys who were here my true freshman year, I took a lot of things from those guys, because those guys were phenomenal leaders. And a lot of those guys were on the defensive side of the ball, but they still they had this presence about them that when they walked into the room, they were leading by example. They had a vocal presence in the room that I think that I learned a lot from. And so I think, I've kind of just grown into this role where, I can be that presence in the locker room, and I think it's important to understand that just doesn't come from anywhere. You have to build respect within your teammates, and you have to lead by example, and then the vocal part kind of comes, I think. And I love these guys. Those guys in the locker room, love them to death. Those are my brothers, and I would do anything for them, and they mean the world to me. And yeah, hyping them up on the field is, when you see your best friends and your brothers do good stuff and make plays, there's nothing but a ton of excitement I have for them. And yeah, I was probably messing around with Parker trying to get him to smile while he was up here, but I love Parker. That's my guy.
Heading into your second year under Derek Mason, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen under his coaching style as opposed to Stockstill's?
Yeah, I think Coach Mason has done a good job of kind of like I said before, he has done a good job this year as to last year. Last year, he was kind of policing, a lot of people, not policing in a bad way, but being very, focusing on small things that maybe didn't matter in the sense of football. We were worried about a lot of things that weren't football related. And I think, he has done a good job this year of setting the standard and letting players kind of hold that standard each and every day. I think that he is a phenomenal leader of men. He does a really good job. He commands a room when we have a team meeting, and speaking with him and his vision of where this football program is going to go is what gave me a lot of confidence in staying here. And he's given me a lot of opportunities as well, so I owe him a lot, and I'm forever grateful for Coach Mason. But at the end of the day, he's leading the ship, and the players are behind him, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that this gets done the right way.